Hello everyone, welcome back again. This is Jesse, and then in today's discussion, we'll be talking about working with dates, time, and then time zones in Julia, right? So if you want to work with this dates, time, and time zone, you need this package, that is dates package. So use Pkg.add dates, and then Pkg.add time zones to be able to add a package to it. Now, the dates has three different data types or data objects. So one of them is time, which works only for time, and then milliseconds and then nanoseconds of the time. Dates, and then date time, that combines both the date and the time data objects. So now let's see how to do that. So first of all, just go with using dates and then time zone. This time zone is to work with time zones if you want to work with time zones. Now let's see how to create a data type object, right? Not objects. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to call it my favorite date. So my favorite date is to create a data time object. Just go with date, a date time object rather. Just go with date, then time. Then I'm going to pass in my year. So let's call it 2018, and then let's call it 01 for January, and 21. That is today's date. So if I do it in this format, it's actually going to create a data time, a date time object for me, not a data time, a date time object. Perfect. So now it's creating a 2008 my month, then the current day, right? And this T signifies is the ISO, International Standard Organization for time zones and all those stuff. So for all the things after the T stands for time, represents time, and then everything before the T is the date, right? So if I want to actually check for only the date, I can just go with date, and then of my fave date. If I do it like this, it's actually going to print only the date for me, right? That is the date here. If I want to do for only the time, I'll just go with time and then fave date. Not only print only the time, which is 000. Okay, so I have to note, I understand something, that anytime you see it as capital like this, capital D, capital T, is usually used to convert it, right, to the particular date. Is standing on its own. This capital D, capital T are under this date time rather. So if I want to check for only the year, I can just go with this. So year, see that is small year, right, and then fave date. So it's actually going to only bring the 2008, which is there. If I only want to check for the month, I'll just go with month, capital small m, then fave date, right, which is 1, which is January. If I actually want to get the month name like that, I can just go with month name, then fave date. It's actually going to print the particular month name for us. It's January. So that is one way of doing it. So if I want to get the day, I'll just go with day, small d, and then fave date, right? So date, I want to get the date name, we're going to print it as Sunday, nice, which is today. So that's one of the things you can also do with this date time. So the date time works with, combines dates, right, and then the time. So dates, time. So if I want to check for the time here, because all the time are 000, let's create another favorite date. So we can actually do it in this format, right? So there's another way of creating the data time. Let's make it, let's say 1, right? Favorite date 1. Then I can pass this one into a string. So if I pass it into a string like this, let me supply the date. So the date is going to be, let's say 15, and it's 3, then 30, right? So this is going to be one particular string, and I'm going to supply the format. So to supply the format, just go with this. So y, because it's 02018. So y. So in case we reach this, you just add another one to it. But I don't think by the time you reach there, you'll be using pieces. So you'll be advanced. Singularity will have come. Okay. Then, and I'll go with this, right? The month, and then the day, right? Then I'm going to go with the hour, and then the minute. So you realize that this is the delimiter. It must match the delimiter. So if I go with this, it's going to actually print it perfectly for us. right? So this thing that I've done, if I want to check for only the time, I can just go with hour. That is for only the time. Go to the time, then 5 date 1. So it's going to only print only the time. See that that's printed only this time for us. So if I want to get for the minutes of this time, then I'm going to make it like this: minutes, then 5 date. Perfect. That is 30 minutes. So you have to realize that anytime it is capital like this, it's actually going to be doing the converting, and it works with the date time. So if this is one way of doing it, right? So now let's move on to some other items. Let's try to create a data time with a delimiter that is something like what I've done here. So I can just paste it here and make it 2. So the delimiter is comma. We knew that this was comma, and it worked perfectly. We can actually change it and make it something like this, or something like this. Let's make it like this rather, right? So if you make it like this, it's actually going to pick this delimiter and then use it perfectly. Perfect. See that has picked the delimiter. So that's one of the ways of creating an object with this particular delimiter. And so there are several things you can also do from here. Some of the functions you can do is you can check for the year as we did for this, which is going to be 5 date 2, and it's going to give it 2018. If you want to check for the time, the minutes, the hours, so hour, we want to check for the hour, particular hour which we have here, and just make it like 5 date 2. It's going to print 15 if you want the minute. 5 date 2. You have to understand that you see that the smaller ones is the function used to fetch for its varieties to fetch it perfectly. Nice. Okay, that is one of the ways. If you want to even get the seconds of it, which I don't think this one give us seconds, give us seconds. If I want to check for the seconds of it, I'll just go with second, then 5 date 2. Perfect. 0. So that's one of the ways of doing it. Now let's see some other things we can also do before we move on. If I want to check for the current time right now, I want to check for the current time, I can just go with code. Let's call it creating checking for current time and then date, right? If I want to check for my current time now, I can just my current day, I'll just go with today. Let's go to print. Today is 2008 21st. If I want to check for my current particular time now, I can just make it time. If I do it time like this, it's going to give us a units time, right? So this is going to be a units time. So this is the first it's counting from the time, the units time, that's what they call it. Okay, the time that the unit system was created up to now. So if I want to actually convert this to know the actual time, I can just go with units to date time. Then I'm going to pass in my time. So if I do it like that, it's actually going to print it to this particular time, even to the milliseconds and nanoseconds. That is quite nice. So if I don't want this long format of units to date time, I can actually do it like this. And I want to check for the particular time and just go with now. Then it's actually going to print my current time now, which is almost the same. Right? This is my current time particular now. This time is the time for this PC, and this time is it's conflict anyway, but you will still understand it. Okay, so if I can even actually pass it to this, and then it's going to print it in the format of something like particular time, right? Instead of going with this long stuff, it's going to print it like this. So let's see the difference. So this is going to keep us in this format as the date time. If I check for the type of this, hope it works. It's going to tell us that this is a date time, right? Date time, right? So but this one is going to give us the particular time here. So if I check for the type of this, which is base.date.time, so this is particular specific to the time. Okay, so that's one of the ways of doing it. Now let's see some other things you can also do. If you want to create date object instead of not just date time, so if I want to create a particular date object, I can just do something like this, right? So make sure that this one matches perfectly. So if I do it like that, it's going to actually match this one. That is one of the ways of doing it. It's going to create it perfectly. So if I want it in a different format, so that is working. If I want it in a different format, I can actually do it in this way. Let me do it like this, right? Then I'm going to make it like this, and it's going to calculate it perfectly for us. Okay, so these ones must match to produce this one.